The tree it's basically two trees connected at the level of nebari here, and I think it has really nice structure to be styled in typical naturalistic style. We need to clean the things which are at the bottom, stuff like this, which we don't need. We want to see more into the crown also here, and then we can decide what amount of sub-trunks which are aiming out we keep, and basically to style it as a two connected crowns, one with predominantly branching going in this direction, and this tree possibly smaller one than the main one going in this direction. Yeah? So, but it's hard to see now, so I remove all the foliage, shorten the branches, maybe the cut part of the bucket to see what is there, and then it will be clear. But I think the base is really good for naturalistic style.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yes, that's what you do. Clarification for people who watch this and who have not done this so much before. You can now wonder about where exactly which part of the crown goes where and which branch to take. It's a waste of time. First, clean up your tree, and that means really clean it. Take off all the foliage. Well, is it not too... Does the tree really not mind if we take off this? Well, it's October. In 2 weeks, this will be gone, will be done. You just pull it off. Now, how do you pull it off? Like this. Like this. Okay, in 2 minutes this is done. So then it's clean. The next thing is you take a strong saw and saw up this bucket here down here to make the bar visible. Yeah. You would say, yeah, I can see it anyway. I'm sorry you don't see it, because you will be surprised how much better that looks. Just do that. You will be surprised. But then I cannot carry it anymore. That's true, but that's your problem. Okay, but for arts purposes, you must do that. Many gardeners say, yeah, but is it not easier to water that way? Yes, but we are artists, not gardeners. You can water it still, but it's a bit more difficult. Okay, anyway, and then sort out, because then you will find way too many branches. Yeah. You can also do one thing, do yourself a favor, take off immediately what is obvious. You don't have to think about, this is too long. Everybody, so you can take off everything like with a hedge pruner, and then you make life much simpler. But I trust you fully that in the end this will be a shining, a double trunk sort of hornbeam. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
So Maros, this is a European hornbeam.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
When I started with it, this was a big ball of leaves and some extended growth at the top. I didn't know exactly what is inside. Initially, I saw only the nebari, and I knew that the tree has some nice two trunks merged together here and at the middle, and the roots are outstanding on such material. And after the cleaning, I decided to clean everything, shorten, as we initially speak about it as a raw material. And when I cleaned it, it was obvious there is some of this stuff was too long and too overgrown. This is material grown in the field for many years by the man who created dozens of this kind of hornbeams of high quality. This is probably very good example of very good field grow work, and he did really good job over the years. Unfortunately, he's not here anymore to enjoy the result of his work. But this is what you can do with field-grown material if it's cared properly. And this was shortened. There was a really big part. Also, some of those were really short, really long, so they need to be shortened. So basically, we have two trees with one tree maybe a little bit more in back going here into this direction in the future. This one going predominantly here into this direction. With help of Thomas, we changed the position. Maybe it could be in a pot in this kind of position, and it will look nice. It has a lot of dead parts and holes which have been carved and have been cleaned because some of them were rotten, and I made a few holes which will drain the water from the big holes, so the water will go out and the decay of the wood will not continue so fast. Anyway, on this type of material, this type of tree, it's impossible to stop this kind of decay process. The cuts needs to be done in a way where they look believable, that they are not man-made and they are not artificial, so they are in some way natural. And that's it. And I think this surprised me, and I think the material was a bit better than I thought initially. Yeah?
Can we rotate it against the clock 1.5 hours, like that? Yeah, stop. This is my front. Okay, why? Because it gives a lot more depth. It has several very good fronts, because it's not a bonsai, it's a tree. And trees don't have a front. You just walk around and see, oh, look, I like it from here, I like it from here. And the best thing is, if you cannot even decide which is the best front, this is very typical for the naturalistic style. Now, this is a very good result, especially if you know that this is a Carpinus betulus, which is the European hornbeam, the one with the big leaves. They never normally do this, which is would be typical for the Oriental hornbeam, Carpinus orientalis. This is what Andrea has in his garden. They are usually better than ours, but here it's just as good as the orientalis. Now, there's two issues here. The one is the artistic issue. The second is the gardening issue. The artistic issue is that for many people, they will say, oh, this looks kind of cool, but this is problematic. Why is it problematic? Well, because it has this deadwood here, and deciduous trees are not supposed to have deadwood. Okay. The next thing is here, these are, how many trees are these? This is 2 trees, or is this 6 trees, or 7 or 5 or whatever? Can we not make this clearer and cut off everything that's superfluous and have then 2 trees? Well, yes, we can. Okay, we totally ruined the whole design, but we can. Okay, why are these people asking these questions? Because this kind of thing is not taught, or historically we get orthodox bonsai design, and orthodox bonsai design is not really artistic design. It's commercial design to design something which can be produced in big numbers with cheap labor and can be sold for good money. And what and you make what the customer expects. And this is totally out of that role. So this is insofar not good product, because that does not fulfill the norm. If you treat bonsai as an art form, you try to create something radically different. And you don't take your piece of material and try to put something in there which looks like you want it, which looks like a bonsai. You do the opposite. You look at this and say, what's your talent? Where are you good at? Okay, and you bring that out. And that's exactly what Maros did. This is what this tree wants to be if it could be. So we created a butterfly out of this caterpillar, and the butterfly is not a normal one. This is a new one. So if this then goes on a slab or some interesting pot, in about 5 years, this will be wonderful. The next thing is a horticultural one. All these holes, why are they forbidden? They're forbidden because if you want to create a uniform product, these holes are irritating. And by the way, people could then go to the forest, collect their own trees, and produce their own bonsai. And how would this nursery survive? So they had to declare to the general public that you absolutely are not forbidden to have any big scars or holes on deciduous trees. Why is that? Because they want to save their commercial interests. You think I'm kidding? No, I really believe that's true. So what's wrong with that? Nothing. If I were a Japanese nursery, I would do exactly that. So I understand. However, we are very fortunate to not be under this pressure. I mean, maybe the owner, Lucas, will sell it, but we don't care. We don't do this for selling. We do this for art, for fun. And that's a wonderful situation that we don't, while we are interested to hear what the world thinks about it, that's fine. But it doesn't really concern us too much. So it will not irritate us too much if many people hate it. But by the way, the more and more we do that, the more and more people seem to like it. So somehow this very liberal naturalistic style becomes almost sort of mainstream. So maybe we then have to decide about a new style, invent something else, something radically different. Anyway, what would I do with this? Different? Nothing. I would now leave it alone, let it grow freely. And very free.
Yeah.
And cut it back.
Yeah, because this needs to be
pruning method.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
This needs to be regrown. So this is the part of a tree which needs to be regrown. So this must be very thick. So
this must be much thicker.
Yeah. So it will take many years.
And some of these wounds will callus over. Some will be open. You said it. They will rot. Yeah, you can drill a hole and prevent rotting. But you will not be able to really prevent that. So the tree will die because it will be rotting inside. That's what people think. This is wrong. The tree will not die because it will rot inside. That's true. It will not die because of that. This is something the whole world believes. Even trained gardeners tell you, but it's not true. And I can tell you, it's official. Knowledge on universities. I know that for sure. I've spoken to professors. This is now being taught on agriculture universities that you don't have to fill these holes. They will rot, and rotting will not kill the tree. Okay, so why am I so sure? Because I walk through the forests and see where some storm or some rock broke off big parts of that tree. Now, all over the forest would be all dead trees if rotting killed them. The trees, fortunately, don't know that. In Europe, we have many lime trees, it's called tilia, linden trees, which are more than 1,000 years old, which since 800 years are hollow. So does rotting inside kill the tree? Well, it doesn't kill it for 800 years, so that's long enough. So anyway, don't you worry about these holes. Whatever you know that you think you know, what you think you know is not right. That it will not be dead, and you cannot hinder it in the long run, and it doesn't matter. So holes are okay on a tree. If you have a hole that you can fill, you fill it. If you have a hole that you cannot fill it and it's ugly, you do what? You make it uglier. Actually, I'm not kidding. You make it bigger, but you make it irregular so that it doesn't look like somebody took a concave cutter in a very nice way and then in the hope that it would callus over, and it doesn't after 20 years. You can still see that. I don't want it. You have to really, with some tool, work on it brutally so it looks like some storm or whatever broke this off. And then it's tried to callus over, but it didn't quite succeed. Then you have a wound, a hole that looks credible, authentic. Okay, anything else you want to add to this?
I just wanted, if you are speaking about hollow, this is natural hollow, which is very, very old, and it looks fantastic on this trunk. It looks like, it's part of a design. It's something happened to the tree, let's say 50 years ago, and it looks really natural. So this is what we are speaking.
The interesting thing is now everything's, that's pretty cool, it's finished. This is not finished, this is just started. Now we will let it grow freely and then hack it back. Let it grow freely, hack it back. Then we'll take off the wire and again, and then we put on some more wire, and it will take another 5 to 10 years, and then it will be sort of finished, sort of. Okay, so it will, all these 5 to 10 years, it will not look as good as it really could. Now that's another point. Why do they not tell us this that to let it grow freely and then hack back, which is known about around the world of Walter Pall's hedge pruning method. Why don't they do this? If Walter is right, I tell you why they don't do it. Because the tree looks silly. They want to sell stuff, right? Now, when you sell stuff by putting it nicely positioned and so people like it, okay? Now, we have an ugly looking shrub and then we hack it back and it still doesn't look well. So for 10 years, the tree does not look good. Now, that's a long time if you're in business. This is why the nurseries don't do it. The Japanese know exactly what I'm talking about, but they are not doing it. Okay, so maybe Lucas is also in that position that he's not so free to do it on the better trees. So anyway, is there any other remark you want to say here?
I want to say that this is traditional teaching, that if you look something how to develop the deciduous tree, everything is about how you cut it back. How you prune, how you cut it back. All the videos, everything is about this. And this is completely different what Walter is saying, because you need to grow a lot to gain the diameter of certain part of a trunk to develop them. So they have this movement and this thickness which you will require to have there. And this is something which how you show it in the video, that we will grow it for 5 years. You cannot show it, there is not shortcut.
Because people are misunderstanding developing a tree and refinement of a tree. And that is the big misunderstanding. They are trying to finish a tree that is only in the beginning stages.
That's very good remark. The rules sort of what they tell you if the tree comes getting out of the buds in the spring, then you let it grow a little and then pinch it and then make sure it's always pinched and looks nice. All these rules are okay. For what? For a finished tree which should stay more or less as it is, right? This is the answer to the question, oh, master, I bought this very wonderful piece of art from you. What do I have to do? He told you, oh, pinch it so that it does not grow out of the shape. Okay, so everybody learns pinching is the thing you have to do. Okay, did I tell you that did I say anything about pinching? This will not be pinched in the next 50 years because pinching is not the thing you have to do. Because this is not a finished tree, this is a tree in development. This is raw material still in the first stage of real good development. As long as you're developing tree, you're not pinching. You'll let it grow freely, hack back, and then they will bud out. And pinching is only for it to stay as it is. And that's the big misunderstanding. So I'm not saying that everything that you're doing is wrong, but it's for another reason. But unfortunately, we were not being told in the old days because the Japanese or the whatever Asian people who sold trees to us never considered that we would want to do that ourselves. That was never the idea. The idea was that they are the factory of the world for bonsai. They sell these trees, and when it's dead, you buy a new one from them. So what we are doing, everyone in the bonsai world, in the Western bonsai world, is now doing art and trying to create bonsai from some raw material, and that was not foreseen. And all these rules that we have learned are not for that. They are for a finished product, and nobody brings a finished product to a workshop. Okay, thank you for your remark. Okay, was that enough shot?
Yeah, thank you.